Hey, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I'm Darren, and today I'm going to finish up one of these on my last video. I showed you I separated the flat and the point from an 18-pound Packer brisket from Costco. Today we're going to cook up the flat. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, so when I trimmed this up, when I separated the point and the flat, I did cut most of the fat off. I did leave some on here because I do want it to kind of cook up when we put it on the smoker. Not a lot of that fat's going to render off in the sous vide. I'm going to sous vide this at 150 degrees for 36 hours. But then we're going to put it on the smoker to finish it up. I'm going to do the point separately, so you'll be able to see a video about that in my channel. So make sure you check that out as well. So since I got my flat all ready to go, it's all trimmed up, ready to go, I'm just going to simply season this. You can season it any way you like, but I'm just going to use a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic. I usually make my own. I do about 1 cup of garlic, or 1 cup of garlic to 2 cups salt and 2 cups pepper. So 2 parts pepper, 2 parts salt, and then 1 part garlic. And I'm just going to put this right on the top. And I use coarse ground pepper and kosher salt and garlic, granulated garlic, not garlic powder. So just get a nice coating on it. We are going to put a little bit more on after it comes out of the sous vide bag. Cooking this sous vide is going to allow the salt to penetrate even more than it would if we were just brining it in the refrigerator overnight. Low temperature cooking helps brines penetrate, and since salt is the only thing on here that was going to penetrate deep into the meat, sous vide is going to help that get in there. So just put a nice even coat. Doesn't have to be really thick because we are going to take it out of the bag and put a little bit more on. I have my expandable sous vide bags here. This hunk of meat is not going to fit in my chamber sealer, so that's why it's always good to have both a chamber sealer and a channel sealer, because if you're going to cook something like this, it's a big hunk of meat, pork butt, big pork loins, briskets, beef ribs. It's always good to have a channel sealer for that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide it right in my bag. Try to make sure that you line it up with the non-textured side when you're trying to slide it, or it'll be harder to kind of slide it into the bag. Kind of push it down in there. Make sure you make your bag big enough as well, which I just barely made this one big enough. I'm gonna go seal this up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got my bag all sealed up, and sometimes I double seal these big thick bags because they are 4 mil and they are pleated here on the sides, so you got to make sure you get that sealed. So if you need to double seal it, don't feel bad. Go ahead and do it. As you can see, it's got it all sealed up in there. I'm not going to be using this container. I'm going to use my actual Anova Pro container because it's bigger and it'll fit this whole flat in there. I am going to put the point section in here, but you'll see that in another video. So let me go ahead and get this thrown in my Anova Pro. 36 hours at 150. Then we're going to take it out, season it up a little bit more, and then we're going to throw it on the smoker, get some nice smoke to it, finish it up. So just the flat. Thanks guys, I'll be right back. Hey y'all, I'm back. Got my flat out of the bag. Left the juices in the bag. Got little pieces of fat on here still. And I'm going to go ahead. Not going to use this. I use that on the point. I'm going to use just the salt, pepper, and garlic. And I'll just put just a little bit more on the outside here. Like I said, some of that washed off in the purge, in the bag. So I do want to put a little bit more on while it's smoking. And just like with the point, I left this wet. I didn't dry it off because I want that smoke to stick to the surface. Just a little bit salt, pepper, garlic. Kind of recover some of these areas that got washed off in the purge. Well, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the Hasty Bake. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I have my Hasty Bake all ready. It's sitting at about 275. I already have my point section from my earlier video on here, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off and stick my food probe in from my Inkbird and let that cook for a while, and I'll be right back. Hey y'all, sorry about this, but I lost my audio for this particular clip. But as you can see, I took it out of the smoker after about 2.5 hours or so. It's got a nice golden crust on it. It does not look like it came out of a smoker that it's been in for 12 to 15 hours, but then again, it's not as dried out, and actually it was a lot easier to cook. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into it just to kind of show you. We got a nice little smoke ring here. This is the end piece. Still nice and tender. It's not burnt up, which you would get if you cook this traditionally in a smoker. You'd have a lot of these crispy edges on here that you really probably couldn't eat. So this gives me actually more of a usable product, and it's nice and smoky still. You can tell the steam coming out of it. It's still nice and hot. I just took it off the 275 degree smoker. I'm going to go ahead and cut a slice here from the middle so I can do the presentation that everybody likes to do on YouTube when they're cutting the brisket. I'm going to show you the bend test. I'll just show you this piece that show how it's nice and tender. It bends, nice and moist still, pulls right apart, not tough at all, and smoky, and able to just toss it in your mouth and chew it up and eat it. So there you have it, guys. Like I said, it's got a nice little smoke ring, not really too bad, but it's nice and smoky, juicy, tender, ready to go, and really only on the smoker for 2.5 hours. Sous vide makes it easier to process. Try it out, guys. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out the Fire and Water Cooking Podcast. I've had some great guests, including Kenji Lopez-Alt. Make sure you follow us on the next Fire and Water Cooking video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.